I'd like to welcome everyone to our second episode of Scraps of Memories. We'll be talking today with Sandal Inc., also known as Collected Dust in the community. If you'd like to say hello.
Hello.
And I just want to introduce him a little bit. Often I've referred to him, as have others in some of our podcasts, as the mad scientist or the mad mind of Phantom Dust. He's well known for creating various guides and video series. If there's a guide out there that you have seen, whether it's a skill guide or a video instructional series, there's like a 90% chance he was involved in its creation. And he is also one half of the legendary Filthy Sandals duo, for those who like our tournament duo names. And so, as you've created many helps and guides, well, actually, I wanted to introduce the format before I move into the questions. I do apologize. I want to introduce the format. We're going to try something a little different today. We're just going to play a real goofy 1v1 that's just really chill. We're going to use Snap and Levitate on City in Heavy, just to give you a little bit of gameplay and maybe some silliness going on in the background. Just let me know if that seems better or if you prefer just the plain background. But we'll go ahead and start the game, and then we'll move into the questions. So as you have created many helps and guides, Sandal, what would be some of the best resources that you would suggest for newer players starting the game?
I wrote a strategy guide that's like very in depth. It'll tell you about just about any questions you have in the game, and you can find it at the web address dustguide.neocities.org. Now that might be a bit of a mouthful, so if you just Google the phrase "Phantom Dust Neo Cities," you'll find the guide there as your first listing. And I just want to point out some other community guides. We have phantomdusted.com has a forum full of all sorts of guides I'd recommend checking out. If you go on YouTube, I made a video series. I call it The Secrets of Phantom Dust. Just put that into YouTube, Secrets of Phantom Dust. And it will like cover like different mechanics and things that might not come to you right away if you're a newer player.
Yeah, and we
And
can definitely include those links in the video description as well. If you want afterwards, send me them and we'll include those.
sure. I also check out the match videos people play, and Reborn Guinan's also got a concentrated dust series where you can see a lot of people's arsenals and you can pick up their strategies from some of the top players.
Oh yeah, there's a wealth of information out there, and I think especially I really liked your written guide. That's always been one of my favorites. Moving on to a little bit different topic, I was going to talk about the past tournaments that we had, and I guess we'll start with, you played with, as I mentioned, Filthy, and you were the Filthy Sandals duo. What would you say was your favorite moment playing with Filthy in the last tournament?
I think one of my favorites was our winning round match against Dwayne and Jay. The match just opened up with Dwayne and Jay just rushing me, and I was just getting pounded on, and Filthy came in with some lax and some dance to death, and we managed to rally around and finish him off with like a combination of dazzles and dance to death. A close second would be the annoying gift boost line, quantum decay arsenal in that match, other match.
Yeah, I especially liked the Boost Mine Quantum Decay one. That was a terrifying thought to have to think about facing. If you guys had made it to a round where you might have faced me or something like that. We never, unfortunately, not even in the Swiss rounds, we never got a chance to face each other.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll talk a little bit about the 1v1 and the tag tournament. As you are often known for the dirty, nasty tricks, what would you say was your favorite dirty trick you saw someone else pull in the 1v1?
The 1v1, I heard it wasn't exactly intentional, but Kamikaze Mario, he had only one capsule left, and Mr. Math was about to delete his last skill, and Kamikaze just decides he's going to jump in a pit to get right back to his spawn point and shoot his agony to death at Mr. Math, and that was enough damage to wipe him out. It was just like a shock win because you just thought it was over for Kamikaze Mario, and then he did a little own suicide into a pit to finish off Math.
Oh yeah, I remember that match. That was truly epic. Kamikaze Mario kind of downplayed it, but yeah, it was absolutely amazing watching him do that. Jump off confidently right through the tree, immediately cast the agonies of death and win the match there. Definitely a good moment. What was, I guess on a similar vein, what was your favorite dirty trick that you managed to pull off, or at least attempted to pull off in the 1v1?
Yeah, even though I only lost or tied with it, the arsenal where I used speed up with call, recall, and violent change was my favorite dirty trick to try. Maybe it didn't win, but according to some poor choices, it gave him some heart palpitations, so that was fun.
Yeah, that was a good one. I remember watching that. I was just thinking that is absolutely something I would not want to have to deal with in the 1v1. And made me very grateful for not being in Group B. And, let's see. How about your favorite combo you watched in the tag tournament? Favorite combo? I know there was quite a few.
Yeah, there were. One I didn't really quite catch the first time I saw it was done by Murder Mastodon with Reborn Guinan. He used a Mephisto's pack to get a vicious balance at the start of the match, while Guinan made sure to have 0 level. So this let Murder Mastodon just send his 2 opponents down to 0 aura right after they picked up like 4 or 5.
Which match were they playing?
We was on Refinery versus Xanxus and Zexus, and you know, sometimes you hope to get a vicious balance in the beginning of the match, so you know, you hope for that, but I felt like they took it one step further by going, oh yeah, we'll use Mephisto's pack and that'll just find us the vicious balance we need to get right at the beginning, so I thought that was great.
Yeah, that one was a good one. They definitely pulled a lot of great tricks against Xanxus and Zexus. So they played a couple of really dirty ones against me with Soul Cage. I forget what the other environmental was.
Oh yeah, Backdraft was an interesting one on
Yeah, the
City.
Soul Cage and the Backdraft.
Next to your spamming here.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about skills individually. What would you say is your favorite off-meta skill?
I'm not gonna say it's 100% off meta, but you rarely see it, and that would be like finisher. And I'm not talking about like, you know, a 4 or 5 damage one. I'm talking about like, you know, the 20 damage finisher. Doing that to someone is pretty funny.
Are you trying to tell me the finisher is actually meta?
Well, you could win a match with it, couldn't you?
I mean, maybe a 1v1 if they don't got a shield.
I had a match I was playing with it's Orange Baby actually, and we managed to wipe out one of our opponents, and I'm just like, I know this is kind of crazy, but I got finisher right now on 10 level. Let's try and, you know, set up like a stun on the other guy, and we managed to actually get the 20 damage on there. It's risky as hell, but you know, it can totally take a match from someone.
You can certainly dish out a lot of damage if you can connect it. That is just about the textbook definition of high risk, high reward, though.
Yeah. Certainly didn't come out of anyone in a match, whether it was 1v1 or tag.
So in a similar vein, what would you say is your most underrated race skill or environmental, since that's kind of your favorite niche?
Kind of a bland answer would be to say Angel Spears as far as a race, because you can always slip them in an arsenal, and you know, you might say, who cares, it's just gonna reset my stats, but if your opponent is like lowering your speed, or if someone's lowering your attack power, you just use something that works like a single aura, and it puts you right back to the default state. As far as like underrated,
Give me the
Enviro,
spicy answer. Give me the spicy answer.
a spicy answer. I would say Change the World has some really interesting potential, because people tend to think that skill erases the skills you have on the field, but what it actually does is it reshuffles those skills back into your arsenal, and then it erases 3 random skills. So if your opponent's like, this guy's got violent change, I'm just going to leave my aura particles out there, and he can just get rid of those. If you use Change the World, you don't know what got randomly erased from you. It could be those aura particles, or it could be, 3 skills that are crucial to you winning a match.
That's true. I never really thought of it that way. Just how much shenanigans you could get when you change the world instead of a violent change.
I'm really fond of the possibility of someone like using particle convert, and then you change the world. Those get shoved back into someone's arsenal, and then
Interesting.
they get stuffed with aura particles. It's really hard to do, but it would be really cool to see pulled off.
It'd be interesting to see a popping arsenal that isn't necessarily meant to pop them out at the end, but just to break their arsenal.
Yeah, even like just like if you threw it like 1 or 2 in, and you're using like an offensive arsenal.
Yeah, if you have like your partner using an offensive arsenal, maybe long range, so they could stay in their base, and then you throw down the opti, and you could rapid fire a few of those off. You could just cripple both of your opponent's decks really fast.
Yeah, just make sure you don't do it to yourself, because
Yeah, if you clear your and your partner's bench first, and then you particle convert, and then rapidly change the world like 2 or 3 times, like that could just break. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. Sorry, now I started thinking about it too.
And maybe Athena's command might be underlooked. Like, you could stop stuff like slide lasers if people don't have any stat buffs. And if people are using like Dance of Death or Psycho Burst on you, and you just can't stand them like almost one-shotting you, you put that move out, and they're not able to use that skill. Which is sometimes like the focus of a person's arsenal.
Yeah, I think Athena's command is one that could definitely be explored a little more. I know I've tried to do it, but I've never quite gotten it the way I would like it. But I'm sure somebody of your caliber could maybe do it more justice.
Like maybe a doze on someone's cool, or if you keep turbulencing people who are using like Tiger Strength or Trance, they can't like slide laser you. So, there's interesting possibilities you could look at with that skill.
Yeah, I think that could be an interesting one to explore, and I'll be definitely interested watching to see if you bring out any of these things you mentioned, maybe giving us spoilers coming to the next tag tournament. And speaking of the next tag tournament, let's talk about a few points about that one. This coming tournament, the Filthy Sandals duo has split up, possibly looking for blood against each other. Could be a round 1 interesting matchup. But this tournament, You're going to be partnering with Evolution, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, tell me a little bit about that process. What made you interested in him as a partner, and what you guys think you can accomplish?
I did see that in the previous tournament. He was using some stuff like Erase with like Disintegrate, which I liked, and I liked the idea with Still Moment as well, which is actually something that Filthy liked to use too, ironically. As I played with Filthy, he kind of wanted to go with more like straightforward offensive stuff, and I kind of wanted to try like other kind of wacky stuff, and to give him credit, he was willing to do certain wacky things, but after a while, we just felt like there were differences, and I wanted to explore that, and so I ended up playing with Evolution once, and we were just talking about different ideas while playing, and we kind of decided from there that we wanted to try and partner and try different things out together.
Interesting. So, one mad scientist approached another, and is it kind of a master and apprentice here, or a joint partnership?
Well, he's got his own ideas too. Sometimes with me, I know like I would think of something like Still Moment and Disintegrate, and I'm like, well, you know what? If someone gets paralyzed by that move, if they stand still, they can cartwheel if they use the cartwheel button, or they can still jump, or they can even use like a.
Zexus, who have a bit of a reputation for that.
Well, they could use a Fortress of Iron or like an Absorb Shield, like Shelter or Absorb blocks that. So I'll be like, I'm not so crazy about that, but in actual practice, they would hit people with these moves, so they would disintegrate them or. So we have different ideas that one might not necessarily think would work, and it's good to try them out that way.
Yeah, I think that'll be a real interesting duo to see. I know when you guys posted that you guys were going to team up, I posted that meme that the evilest thing I've ever heard of, and it's kind of true. I remember what was the skill you mentioned? Blessed Rain, the one you just used. You mentioned using Blessed Rains for everyone, and both Poor Choices and I were like, no, I think you're the only player I would be legitimately worried about whenever I see you use a Blessed Rain.
It's actually a combo that I was fond of using in the past, especially in like Battle Royale. What I would do is I'd run around and I'd annoying give people Blessed Rain and maybe some other junk stuff, and what it did was it kept people alive, and so people would be erasing each other, and they'd have to also just pick up more skills. So if I was super lucky, I'd get them down to almost no skills, and then I would like diabolical trick them out. So that's where the whole
Blessed Rain and then Violent Change.
Yeah.
Benevolent Master Sandal.
It's like, okay, whichever player's down low on life would be like, yeah, I'll take those Blessed Rains, and then it would pop everyone back up to 20. So, you got a guy who's using, like, Memory of Battle or something, and he's using up his vacuum slashes and, his big single-use skills, and
So what you're saying is that me and Poor Choices were right, and that you are nefarious, and that no one should trust you. Okay.
Always use Blessed Rain when we give it to you. That's right. Accept our gifts. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so is there any team right now? I'm not sure if you've seen the most recent roster. I think we've picked up 2 new teams in the past couple of days. Madman and Mirage, as well as its Orange Baby and Aphid Show, are both recent additions. Is there any team out of the current roster? I think we've got about 14 teams right now that you're particularly looking forward to facing.
I'm looking forward to taking on some of the top teams in the past. I'm also looking forward to seeing the newer team combinations, and also seeing what Filthy and Daffy Duck can do, because I know Filthy has been putting together stuff, and I'm interested in seeing how they come together as a team.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. I think it'd definitely be an interesting little, former partners match. I'm always down for those.
Yeah, and like even you and Monkey, or a new team, Guinan and Murder Mastodon, the former champions, or
now they've
on
split up.
Opposing teams now. So
yeah,
that's definitely a match I think people are gonna want to see.
Yeah, I think that'll be an exciting one as well. Is there any team that you're least looking forward to facing?
Uh, least forward? Well, that's a trade secret. I'll give a better answer. I'm actually worried about some other snarky strategies from people. I know, I was talking to Monkey about some things, and he says he doesn't like to snark so much, but I know I've faced him with the vicious balance down to zero arsenals, and I never know what's gonna happen when one of those things come out, and he also really screwed me and Filthy in a match when he hung reduce entropy, and he had an orb equipped, and I didn't think that was a big deal usually because I had judgment, and I was like, I'll just judgment a few times and that'll take care of him. In that match, I literally did judgment 10 times, killing myself, and I still wasn't able to get rid of the reduce entropy.
I'd just like to point out for the viewer there that Sandal just did 5 damage with the Blessed Rain. 5 damage Blessed Rain, brought to you by Sandal Inc. Yeah, I think Monkey, he's an interesting player. It'll be interesting to see, because I haven't gotten as much practice time in with him yet. He's been kind of sick. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he decides to bring out any of the snark stuff, because that wasn't something that my team shied away from either. So yeah, it could be an interesting little snark off if you and I face off in the tournament. I guess last question: is there anything you would like to say to your eventual round 1 opponents?
Well, even to the viewers, I would like to say, don't underestimate us. Even if you steamroll us in one match, we might come back with something else the next one.
Don't underestimate. Have you guys come up with a new tagline? What are you now? Evolved Sandals?
No, that's probably the best name you're probably gonna get with that.
Evolved Sandals coming at you soon in the tag team tournament. This has been episode 2 of Scraps of Memories. Thanks, Sandal, for being a part of this, and I look forward to seeing all of the horrible things that you can inflict upon other teams in the Phantom Dust Tag Tournament. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Me too.